This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Vivrelle. Vivrelle is the first of its kind luxury accessories members only club, providing members access to borrowed designer handbags, jewelry, watches, and diamonds. Borrowing diamonds, sign me up. Members can treat the Vivrelle closet like their own and can borrow anything within their tier. Vivrelle has no return dates. Members can swap items once a month or keep items for as long as they'd like. Memberships start at $45 a month. The most popular is the Classique tier for $119 a month. Sounds incredibly fancy. There's no better time to sign up as June is filled with the biggest drops ever, with drops including at least $1 million worth of inventory weekly. How amazing is that? Inventory is incredible from brands like Hermes, Fendi, Saint Laurent, Dior, and more. How gorgeous is that? Use code GOODGUYS to get 30% off your first month of membership. So folks, go to www.vivrelle.com and apply for a membership today using code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership. The code will also allow you to skip the Vivrelle waitlist, which is incredibly long because it's incredibly exclusive. That's VIVRELLE.com and use code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership. Every single week, we're dropping $1 million in new Vivrelle stuff. We're talking Hermes, we're talking Dior, we're talking Fendi. Whatever you want to borrow, go to VIVRELLE.com/goodguys for 30% off 1 month of membership.
Is there an episode of Catfish that you can't or haven't aired?
There were two episodes that didn't air.
Say more.
I remember getting called in when we were filming one day and they were like, hey, we got bad news. Like that the Boston Orlando episode, like we can't air it. And I was like, why? Apparently the young man who he'd helped from Boston at some point after filming and before the episode would have aired, got arrested for
Two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A mother's dream, premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine, it's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the Good Guys, we're not the great guys, we're just so good and the Good Guys. Whoa.
Mazel morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. We are here with a man, you know him from Catfish, you know him from your life. He's been in our lives for decades now. It's Nev Schulman, or as his friends call him, Yaniv.
Yaniv. Yeah, that's actually, it always catches me off guard because once in a while I'll be out somewhere and someone will say, hey, so good to see you. And they'll introduce me or I'll say hello and then we'll be talking and they'll say like, oh yeah, to their significant other, this is Yaniv. Like we went to high school together or middle school. And I forget that I used to be Yaniv.
Yeah.
That was my name on, my name tags and on my homework until officially like high school when people started just calling me Nev. But yeah, I was Yaniv for most of my life.
Beautiful name, huh, Ben?
It's gorgeous. You know, Josh was once Josh Peckerman. Okay?
Yeshua Peckerman.
Yeah.
He was. He anglicized. He did. So
wow.
Nev, Yaniv, Peckerman. I'm the only one who kept so fair. I can't escape.
It's softer though, which is pretty.
It is.
It's pretty passable.
1,000%. It's passable.
They're like Schulman, Peckerman, get in line. Softer, you get a pass.
Yeah, I'm fine until they see me.
You know, I think this is going to be a super Jewish-centric episode. Ben went to yeshiva.
Oh, wow.
He's basically a rabbi.
Wow.
I did.
Yeshiva is that like university age, right? Like after high school, right?
It's just college.
Right, it's college.
Yeah, I honestly, I went there because they had a 99% acceptance rate into dental school. They got all their kids into dental school. And once upon a time, I wanted to be a dentist.
Wow.
Don't ask me why, but I did. And so I went there and it was lovely. It was on 185th in Amsterdam.
Wow.
Nev, and I know you're from the city. They put the girls' school 34th and Park. Tell me how that's fair.
Yeah, that's a hike uptown for sure.
I'm just saying, if you could pick between Washington Heights or Flatiron, it's not really a fair trade. But
yeah, no, I agree.
I went to yeshiva. So you're from the city. You live in LA now, or you live in the city?
I still live in New York City. In fact, I live in Williamsburg now.
Oh, lovely.
Technically South Williamsburg. I'm really very close to the measles and
wow. Nev, we don't need that being spread around on the pod. Is that it? Are the Jews spreading measles? Are the Orthodox?
Yeah, they don't vax.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. They are anti-vax. You didn't know that?
This episode's gonna set our whole people
All right,
back.
let's move on to Iran. Let's just go straight to the war in Iran then. Let's keep it light.
What's the deal? So you're by the Orthodox.
I mean, I'm close enough that Fridays at sunset, I hear the wailing siren. Do you guys know about this?
Yes.
You know. Yeah. So every Friday, half an hour before sunset, it sounds like we're being bombed. I mean, I don't understand why they can't choose a slightly nicer tone, but these like huge air sirens go off in South Williamsburg so that all of the Orthodox Jews know, finish what you're doing and get home before the sunset.
Right.
Which is, I like it as a reminder. It is very like grounding. Like, oh yeah, it's Shabbat, but it is a sort of alarming. It's not a particularly welcoming sound.
Wow.
And you can hear it across like all of Brooklyn. I mean, it's pretty wild.
It's not the call to prayer. It's the call to rush.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the call to kvetch.
Yeah.
Called to fetch.
But it does. It reminds me, which is nice.
One thing in particular I love about Nev is he's just a super dad, which I look up to. Our friend Casey Neistat loves being a dad. Ben is a new father to the beautiful Ruby, 5 weeks old.
Wow.
Yes.
Want to share some dad tips, usher him into dadhood?
You have a daughter.
I have a son. So Ruby.
Oh, okay.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Confusing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it definitely. Josh shouldn't tee that up.
Sorry.
Right. Ruby. We went for the 1930s Ruby, back when we used to name our men Ruby.
I like that.
Thank you. And look, it's been a dream. My wife and I have done it hand in hand. We didn't get a night nurse. Everybody's like, what are you, nuts? And it's like,
Wow.
We're getting up together. We're doing it old school. We finally are getting a nurse.
Okay, I was going to say.
I think, yes. We need
time has
a
come.
day nurse. The time has come.
Right. I'll tell you some things that maybe other people won't or haven't. You're pretty much, you think you're probably doing a lot right now, and you are, I'm sure.
He really is.
Which is commendable. But I would say that typically, having had 3 kids, like the first, 6 to 9 months, you kind of don't really know what to do. You're like, I can't really help with the baby that much. Like, I can hold him from time to time and burp him, and you can change diapers, but like 95% of the work is the mom, right? Yep. And so you end up feeling kind of like, I don't know, at least in my case, like not sure what to do with yourself. Like, clean the dishes, whatever, but kind of just in the way. And so your job is really just to take care of your wife and just get her whatever she needs. So that you probably already figured that out. It's mostly intuitive. What I think you probably don't know yet, unless you're different than me, which hopefully you are, I didn't feel much of a connection with my kids initially. In the movies and in media and generally, there's this, I think, very romanticized experience that like the second you look into your child's eyes, your life changes and everything like sorts out and all the noise goes away and you realize the point of life. And like, I think that's bullshit. I looked at my kid, I was like, wow, that's a cute baby. I love that baby, but like, I don't know them. I haven't intimately been like connected to them in my womb for the past 9 months. So like, it's just a cute baby. And it took me like 9 months to a year to start to actually feel like, oh, this thing is cool and likes me and cares about me. Because, again, they only really care about their mom at the beginning. So don't feel weird or like there's some rush to like feel some connection with your kid. Sometimes it takes time. At least it does for me.
Right.
And I always sort of felt bad. I was like, am I like a soulless, ice-hearted person? And like, no, it just takes a little bit longer with the dad. And then your connection starts to, I don't know, do you feel like this rings true at all? Or you're just a softer, sweeter guy?
I'm soft as cotton.
You're more human than I am, I think.
No, I also, when Ben and I talked about it, my kids were formula fed, so I got to really step up, like
That's true.
and give her a break.
That's true.
And I'm a big, if you can fit into my, how do I say it? Like, if you're down to clown in my style, we're good to go. And with a baby, they have to be.
Right.
So I would be like, baby,
You train them.
you and me, we would go on late night walks, like 8 o'clock at night around like the mean streets of Brentwood. And I'd be like, get in the stroller, and I would cozy them up because my son was born in at the end of December. And I'd throw in a podcast, and I would just walk and get my steps and stare at this kid. And I was like, you and I are going to be just fine.
Wow.
Like, but it's all it's all different.
Right.
Yeah, it's all perfect.
I tell you what, no one else told me before is I had no idea how difficult breastfeeding is.
Oh my God.
Ben,
It's so difficult.
It's wild.
It's wild.
I mean,
all that I'll say, you're not a monster at all for what you're feeling. I did have a different experience. I think it's because my wife had a C-section.
Okay.
I held him first. I saw him first. I was with him first. I looked at him. I'm like, holy smokes, you look just like me. And I had a deep emotional, it was crazy.
did
And
you really feel that, Ben, he looked just like you? Only because I feel like babies don't look like anything.
Identical. No, I
Really?
swear.
But do you mean like you, like when you were a baby?
Me when I was a baby.
Right.
It's a unique experience that we've gone through. Josh and I have had completely different experiences, both amazing experiences, but I have really been my wife's baby nurse completely by choice.
Right.
But I hear the baby cry. I wake up, I pick up the baby, I change the baby. I hand it to my wife. She breastfeeds. We watch Love Island, the best show in the world. And that happens every 2 hours for the last 5 months. So I do like.
You have a little bit more of a connection than
I have a little bit more of a connection, but I can absolutely understand why one wouldn't if they weren't doing it like this. And I'm not even saying that I would recommend this. This is so fucking hard.
Well, and I don't want to. Now it sounds like I'm not.
No, it
involved.
doesn't.
No, I'm just
it
saying,
doesn't.
You're amazing.
I'm kidding.
It
Because
doesn't.
I was there all the time doing all the stuff
Yes,
too.
yes,
when
yes.
but yes, we did sleep. I did get to sleep through the night because we did have a night nurse. But
Yes.
Anyway, each
And no shame to that. Each their own. We
Sure.
should, like, if I could do it again, I'm not saying, I probably would do that. Like,
Right.
like really, he doesn't know me. He can't even see.
Right. Yeah.
Like I love him endlessly, but he can't see past the nipple. That's one thing that you learn early on.
Same here,
Yeah, I
dog.
was just gonna say.
he can
I will
he can
say
just see nip.
that having had a daughter first,
Yeah.
I felt immediately with my daughter. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This child is so cute and so lovely, and I was so excited to have her around. And also, you don't really think about children in this way, but they're basically roommates
Yes.
and like
Yes.
new friends. Like you make a friend that you get to hang
Yeah.
out with and does whatever you want. So that was great. And then I had a son. Now you started with a son, so I'm curious what your experience is, but I was surprised and somewhat like embarrassed by the jealousy I felt all of a sudden that my wife was giving so much attention to another guy. I was like, oh, there's a boy here.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, I don't know
Interesting.
how I feel about this guy getting like all my wife's attention and affection.
Yaniv, wow.
No, I had only experienced the girl, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. There's like another girl around. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
of course they can be besties. And then I was like, oh, that's a son, and now my wife loves him and our daughter, and there's almost no love left for me. I hate him.
Yeah. Yeah, word up.
I mean, Mama's boy is a real thing. And they also, at least at this age, like he needs her scent, right? So
Right.
like I'll hold him.
Right.
And for the most part, he will cry when I hold him. There is nothing that I can do to calm him down. But the second he smells Mama,
Yeah, it's amazing.
oh baby, he's in heaven. So yeah, I get that for sure. Give me back my wife.
I know, right?
So I was walking down the street as I always do, head in my phone. All of a sudden I get tapped on the shoulder. Ben, I'm a huge fan. Can we take a picture? I'm a huge fan. I think, wow, amazing. I'm like, of course we can take a picture. It made me feel special. That's all. Why do you want to take a picture with me? They said, no, I'm not a fan of you. I'm a fan of your Discover card. Like, what do you mean you're a fan of my Discover card? What are you, nuts? They said they saw me using my Discover card at my local Japanese grocery store, and they needed to take a picture with me because the Discover card is famous. It's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. That percentage is based on the February 2025 Nielsen report, and all of a sudden, I felt incredibly famous, all because of my Discover card. I can't believe it. This person just wanted to take a picture with me because they saw me using my Discover card. It made me feel special. And when I tell you folks, this caught me completely off guard. That said, while I have you, let's talk about Discover's cashback match. Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year. There is no limit to how much they will match. Folks, that is an incredible deal. Deals only available really for celebrities. This is a celebrity back deal. And I'm telling you folks, I use that to buy so much tuna you have no idea. So much beautiful sriracha, some mayonnaise. We're making tuna tartare for days. We're making spicy tuna for days. It's fantastic. I also use my cash back to buy a little bit of clothing. You know, I wanted a new summer wardrobe and I thought, why not use Discover's cash back? All right, folks, I have to tell you, there was no fan. I just wanted to tell you how impressed I was with the Discover card, so I made up that entire story. It made me feel special, that's all. There was no fan, that's it. I don't know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. I'm sorry I lied. That said, was finding out about the Discover and cashback match worth the ruse? Maybe. Who knows? What are you, nuts? I'm really just looking out for all of you guys because I'm a good guy. Folks, it pays to Discover. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Let's talk Caitlin Clark. She's getting bullied and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, I've sort of seen some of this women's basketball stuff.
Yeah.
They're just beating, we've only seen it because they're beating the shit out of her on the court, Nev. Like, they're literally walking up to her,
I've seen that. Yeah.
Poking her in the eye, kicking her in the shin. She falls to the floor. The WNBA is doing nothing because it's great for ratings. They have people watching games.
Right.
Like, that's it. But the WNBA is turning into the WWE whenever she's on the court.
Or the WNBA.
Yeah.
Right.
The WNBA. They're beating the shit out of her. It's crazy.
Did you see this recent thing that happened a couple days ago?
Maybe not.
She basically got poked in the eye, and then as she was sort of like, and you know, there is a bit of like in soccer where you overreact to get the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she is getting beaten up, and then basically just got like bulldozed by another girl as she's reacting, and she wound up getting a technical foul for it. The other girls did. Ben, am I missing anything?
Clark got the T?
Yeah. Because she reacted and kind of pushed someone off of her.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she got poked in the eye. She's like nursing her eye. All of a sudden, this big girl runs up and just shoves her to the floor. Like, whatever. They got to do something.
Here,
I can't believe we're talking about the WNBA. That's my what are you nuts? Dude, I'm throwing it to the end.
But this is my point. And Olivia, please, because we're just three dumb men. So we need you to set us straight because we're idiots.
Olivia doesn't like the WNBA.
That was my first dream.
You see that, Ben? It was her first dream. You think she wants to be here with us? This sucks.
Yeah, true. Damn it.
She wants to be on some beauty podcast to listen about fucking eyeliner. Sorry, Olivia. But okay, here's my question. Here, the biggest proponent, the biggest defender of Caitlin Clark right now is Dave Portnoy. Where is everyone? Where's like the people watching WNBA that aren't a bunch of dudes chatting who are like, yo, this is crazy, like coming out in support of Caitlin Clark or coming out in support of other players in the WNBA. It's just weird that the biggest, most vocal people are like dudes, especially guys like Portnoy.
But don't you think if you wanted to look objectively at the league, you could find the same type of injuries being inflicted on any not-in-star athlete, but no one cares?
I think normally, yes, but they hate how good she is.
Yeah, okay, so she's getting extra attention from the players. Right.
Exactly. She's just getting like the LeBron attention.
That's what, that comes with the, being
a generational superstar.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes.
Did people like LeBron or Kobe or Steph get beaten up like this?
I don't remember.
As rookies?
I don't remember specifically either, but I do know that you always have a target on your back.
Right.
The NBA typically protects its players. It's actually the opposite. Like a LeBron would get more foul calls from the refs because he's so good and they want to protect him. The WNBA is in a weird place where Like these women are literally making like 70 grand, and Caitlin Clark is making 10 million in endorsements, and they're jealous. Like that's what it is. Like we're seeing a paradigm shift in the sport live in real time, and they fucking hate her. Like that's it. They're jealous and they hate her, and they're taking it out on her on the court.
Olivia, what's the rebuttal? Tell us how stupid we are, please.
I don't know. I'm just looking up right now, like what some of the past, like a Victor Wembanyama has experienced, or like Luka, and it seems like it is something that happens pretty commonly with just people who are like at the top of their game coming into the league. There's like a little bit of hazing, a little bit of attention to like throw them off their game because they were so good for so long. But it is interesting to see like the lack of cultural commentary from like women, but also that might just be like the amount of women that watch basketball in general. I don't know how high that number is.
It's actually a great question. I don't know. Is it do more men watch the WNBA than women?
I don't know.
Or like, what are the numbers?
Can you get the stats on that?
I'm on it.
Thanks, Olivia. Sheesh.
It is crazy that this is where we landed.
Yeah.
I love it.
And before we get into Catfish, I should say, Nev, like I think everybody else in the world, I was a huge fan of that show.
Oh, thank you.
It was awesome. And just like a genius concept ahead of its time. Loved it. But yes, I did put out an Instagram story and just ask people, have you ever been catfished? Are you currently being catfished? And I got some interesting things. You want me to read a couple of them?
If that's what we're
Josh?
doing, I'd love to.
Is that cool?
Sure.
I mean, I feel like you are like, is there no greater expert in the world on this? And will you define catfish for anyone who doesn't exactly know?
Catfish is a term now widely recognized to describe anyone who makes a fake profile on the internet, typically, but not always, but typically with the intention to ensnare someone into a romantic relationship. At least that's sort of how we use it. But now the term gets used, more widely to sort of just reference anybody online pretending to be something they're not, which could also be a scammer or, someone seeking revenge, an ex.
Is this because catfishes change?
No. Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's
I don't
not.
know.
Actually,
Hyenas
no.
have a pseudo penis.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they have like a fake penis. Yeah, they do.
The origin of the term catfish comes from the documentary Catfish, which was about me, where I stumbled into a relationship on the internet with a large group of people, a family, and then ended up discovering that family was actually all the creation of one person.
Right.
And in discovering that, we then met that one person's husband, and he, without realizing it, because we didn't expose her, we didn't tell him that she had done this. She had a story about who we were that he believed, and so we sort of let her have that and gave her the time and space to explain it to him separately after we left. But he told this amazing story that he'd heard, I think, in Bible study about sailors, fishermen, who used to go across the, I think, Pacific Ocean from Alaska to China, and along the way they would catch cod, and they would store them living in the vats of these giant ships. And at some point they discovered that because the cod were no longer in the wild and they were limited in space, they would stop swimming around, and their muscle and flesh would sort of deteriorate, and they would become less delicious. Their flavor would diminish. And somebody had the good idea of putting some catfish in these vats with the cod to chase them around and keep them moving and keep them active. And he likened his wife to a catfish because she's interesting and unpredictable and like keeps him on his toes. And he thanked God for the catfish in life because without them, life would be boring and dull. And he so profoundly described her without even realizing just how accurate he was. And we were so moved by that we called the documentary Catfish, just sort of to highlight his beautiful description of her and people like her, not expecting that it would become a term that people would use to call out liars on the internet. That was never our intention. It was sort of a beautiful nod to this woman.
Yeah.
But it became what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like, do you own that term? Like, how does that work?
No, well, because the word is a word. I mean, it was already a word. there's a new definition in the dictionary because of us, but no, you can't. I mean, you can't trademark a word.
So fascinating,
So
though, because you created a word. I know it existed, but
a definition.
So you created a definition
and a
Super
doc.
cool.
And how many seasons? How many episodes of you basically helping people find their catfish?
We started the show in 2012, and it's so funny. I don't even know if it's technically over yet. There's been a lot of talk about them ordering another season.
Oh, you mean Viacom doesn't give straight answers? My former
also
boss?
it's been a weird year with
Yeah.
CBS and this whole sale / Trump, and so that everyone's kind of not sure what's happening. But if it's over, which it could be, we did 9 seasons, but some of those seasons were like 100 episodes, and they aired in like 8 or 10 sections. So the show came on and off the air like 30 times over the course of the last 13 years, and we made almost 300 episodes, I think.
No one has that.
Yeah.
No
it was
one
a
has
lot.
done
And they
that.
were hour long. Yeah.
Wow. That's a successful show, Ben.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I would have loved to have made it to 300. We're so close.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Shopify. Folks, we love Shopify here at the Good Guys Podcast because Shopify makes your dreams come true. If you want to take a side hustle and turn it into reality, start making some stone cold cash, that's what Shopify is here for, folks. We decided on a whim, like everything else that we do, we wanted to launch some merch, right, Josh? We wanted to make some beautiful merch. So we had the gorgeous Paige Peck design it. We had a beautiful company domestically. We didn't have time to do it overseas. You save a lot of money overseas, but I digress.
We would have loved to do it overseas. We're angling for overseas. We love a tariff.
But we had to do it here domestically, paid a pretty penny for that, made some beautiful merch, hired a nice, modest 3PL company to do our shipping, and Shopify handled everything else. Josh, we made our site completely on Shopify. They have these templates. They have an AI assistant that leads you through the entire process. They even help you design your website. It's literally that easy. They are an end-to-end. Not only, Josh, are they doing the website, but they're doing the processing on the back end. They collect all of the money. They send it straight to your bank account. Shopify is it. I've also been using it for Spritz Society for the last 4.5 years. It is amazing. So whether it's a side hustle or a full-blown hustle, Shopify is here to make your dreams come true, big or small. They say, Josh, it's not real unless you have a website. So Shopify.
True. And
Shopify is it.
You shouldn't let the barrier to entry for your great idea, your great product, being all the middleman hard work. This is what Shopify is for. It's going to take whatever you're working on and make it available to the people. Take all that guesswork out. Shopify's got your back.
So folks, today, go to Shopify.com and sign up. Shopify.com/goodguys. Take your side hustle and turn it into your real hustle. Well, there are some people that have left some pretty sketchy situations. So maybe if you do get green lit, you can go and help some of these people.
Let's hear what your listeners have to say.
Jacqueline said, my mom is being catfished and has been giving away her life savings for the last decade and still thinks her boyfriend is coming.
Well,
love is love.
All right, well,
10 years, never met him, giving away her life savings.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I should probably say this to Jacqueline on camera so that she can show her mom, right?
Yes.
All right. I don't know your mom's name, but Jacqueline's mom, really. Please stop giving money to this person. Not because they aren't lovely and I'm sure affectionate and supportive and there for you, which is important. But if you believe that this relationship is leading to something more, and that something more is an in-person physical relationship, and it hasn't happened yet, it's never going to happen. So unless you prefer to give your life savings to a stranger who's lying to you, but makes you feel good versus your daughter and hopeful grandchildren, I would say you should just tell them, hey, I don't have any more money to give you, and see what they say. And if they stop talking to you or start pressuring you to find more money to give them, that would probably indicate that that's really all they're after.
This is why I give my money to OnlyFans. Strangers that make you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, or just play the lottery. You've got a better chance of hitting the jackpot with that.
I'm just here thinking how much AI is about to catfish
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
out of people. I can't even imagine. Like my dad, he's bless his heart, turned 66 the other day. He'll he gets a text like, "Hey, your TD bank account needs $200. Wire immediately," and he wires, and it's gone. And like I just know, I'm sure like. Catfishing in the older community is probably even more than it is in younger, but with AI and being able to see a video of a person that you know actively telling
It's
you
crazy.
something, it's really scary.
It
Like,
is.
Wow.
I think we should all be going to trade school because in a year or two, the only people with jobs are going to be plumbers and carpenters.
Yeah.
And electricians. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't even need to make this podcast anymore. You could probably have AI make episodes for you.
This podcast sucks.
It would be better for sure if AI was doing it.
There's
but-
going to need to be a Jewish trade school to really slowly indoctrinate these. Like, I thought I was supposed to be a doctor. You're like, well, Maish, get out the ruler, get some PVC pipe.
Yeah.
What is there what's the limit for someone denying that they will see you if you are in some sort of online relationship? Like, do you give them a 3-month runway? Do you give them 6 months? Or like the first time they say no, do you go,
Right. I mean, look, obviously geographics play a big part. So if you happen to fall in love with someone who says or does live far away, that would delay the ease of meeting up in person to some extent. But I mean, the problem is if you're a kid, if you're young, if you're a teenager or in your 20s and you don't have any disposable income and you're in school or you live at home or whatever, you can't just up and go, right? I get why some people really dive into these online relationships because it's fun and it feels good and someone cares about you and wants to give you attention and you wake up to a text from them and they say goodnight. It's like, I get why these relationships feel important and people get very close. Because it's hard to find intimacy and trust these days. So I think for the genuine relationships that start where one person is deceptive, but not with the intention of deceiving, but because they created a profile because they were insecure or they were exploring their sexuality or their gender identity, and all of a sudden they made a connection, and then they don't expect it to get so intense, and then it does, and it's like, oh, well, how do I now reveal that I'm not the person in those pictures, or I'm actually transitioning, or whatever? I get how those things happen. So if that's the case, and it is a genuine connection, I can see why you will give a longer runway because this person really is caring about you. They're not asking for money. They're not messing with you. They're genuinely, in many cases, in love with you. So again, like I don't discourage people from having online relationships that don't turn into physical ones because I think there's a lot you can get out of that. But if what you want is a physical relationship, and you're talking to this person for it's like you can't put hard to put an exact length on it, but like I don't know, I'm certainly a year.
Yeah.
But
it's also like if someone denies FaceTiming you more than once,
right,
they're probably lying.
Right, I agree.
Yeah,
right.
Everyone can.
But again,
FaceTime.
if you're willing to forego FaceTiming because it doesn't really matter, and you're getting 90% of what a relationship should be anyway, then great, enjoy it. Like I tell everybody on the show before we really start, and it's not usually on camera, but sometimes I think they put it in. I say, hey, like if you're really happy with the relationship how it is, then tell me now, because like there's a very low likelihood that at the end of this process, you're going to still have the relationship with this person that you have.
And has anyone ever said yes?
No, everybody wants to know the truth. And I always warn them. I'm like, hey, well, the truth is probably not going to be something you like. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. The connection I have with this person is so deep. So even if they find out that they're not who I think they are, like, surely there'll still be some future. And unfortunately, there almost never is, because attraction does play a huge part. Also, mystery is, I think, one of the greatest aphrodisiacs. Like the not knowing and the uncertainty is sexy and fun and exciting. And then all of a sudden, it's like, never meet your heroes, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll disappoint you in most cases, unless it's like Keanu Reeves or,
oh my God.
Is there an
Stud.
Yeah.
Is there an episode of Reba? Is there an episode of Catfish that you can't or haven't aired?
There were two episodes that didn't air.
Say more.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. They didn't air because of like particularly crazy reasons. Well, sort of. So, and honestly, one of them was probably my favorite hour of television ever.
Wow.
We helped this young man who lives with his parents outside of Boston, like in like Hard, Massachusetts. Like if
Dorchester,
Mike's
South
Hard Lemonade was a neighborhood,
yeah,
that's where these people live. Okay. And the accent thick, right, exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. And he's mentally, developmentally sort of challenged, but fully functional, super sweet kid. But, like lives at home. He's taken care of by his family. He's probably in his like late 20s. I don't know. And he meets guys he's gay. And which was already like surprising, like that this family is so loving and supportive of their gay son. Okay, but great. I'm happy to have seen that. He meets guys on the internet, and he'd had a guy he'd met on the internet who he invited to come and stay with him without telling his parents. The guy showed up. The parents were like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Adam.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, this is my boy. This is my
Glenn."
Right, exactly. This is my boyfriend I met 3 days ago, and he's going to stay with us now."
Yeah.
And they are so sweet. They're like, "Okay, fine, he can stay with you." But of course, he was just sort of a freeloader, and he was taking advantage of this poor, sweet guy, and he stayed there until they could finally kick him out a few weeks later. So he'd had experiences already where he got taken advantage of. He meets this guy online. He's clearly getting catfished. The profile shows a picture that's just like so ridiculously not a real person. I mean, a real person, but like not the guy he's talking to. And we take him from Boston down to Orlando, which is where this guy is. And we end up meeting the guy. And he's a lovely, sweet guy, but he's a big guy, and he works at Disney World. And he's I don't know if he's been diagnosed or not, but he's also just like very childlike and just this. They're so sweet, and the two of them, and the guy from Boston is so happy. Doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care. He just is so happy that this sweet man genuinely likes him and wants to hang out with him, and so he takes him to Disney World on this incredible date.
Epcot.
I don't know where they went. We couldn't go with them to film, but they went. He took them.
Animal Kingdom.
Josh Rosenshingle.
Yeah.
They went to
Exactly.
And they ended up having like a lovely weekend together. And I don't know what ended up happening,
Wow.
but the reality of them being together was not in the cards, but like it was so sweet and so heartwarming. And I was so excited for the episode to air because it really showcased a side of, the people and this family and Boston. Like it just had a lot of interesting things in it.
And it worked out.
Which almost never happens.
Yeah.
And I remember getting called in when we were filming one day and they were like, "Hey, we got bad news. Like the Boston Orlando episode, like we can't air it." And I was like, "Why?" Apparently the young man who he'd helped from Boston at some point after filming and before the episode would have aired got arrested for public masturbation, like in some park. I don't know what happened. Who knows what had happened, but some legal thing happened. And as a result, liability and the insurance of MTV was like, we shouldn't air this because this guy, anyway, so it just got like shelved. It was such a bummer.
That took a left turn. I was here, all the fields, Disney World, they found each other, and all of a sudden,
ending.
Yeah.
This is just like a sad one that I saw. This girl in my sorority was catfished by another girl in the sorority.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just mean girls catfishing. How often do you see that? Like sometimes it's the sad story, a lonely person, and sometimes it's just like a fucking bitch.
Yeah, it happens for sure. People want to mess with their enemies. We also have seen a lot of people who this is the really dark kind of subject, but like people who are in relationships, presumably somewhat happy long-term relationships, but are suspicious that their significant other might or would pursue someone, so they make the fake someone
Oh my god!
and essentially, entrap them to see if they'll respond to the DM.
It's called 3D chess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly women doing this, obviously.
John,
Not because, right.
We
Because
started with Caitlin Clark. We're ending with it. No.
Josh has like been there, done that.
Yeah.
Right.
Who doesn't have a couple VPNs?
But actually, we actually had an episode like that where two guys had been in a relationship for a long time, and then one of them, but the relationship was sort of always on again, off again. And I guess during one of the off agains, one of the guys made a profile to sort of see what his ex or sort of still roommate, but whatever, was up to, and ended up weirdly like re-falling in love with him through the fake profile and learning a lot about him and like seeing a side of him that he hadn't ever really seen, and then wanting to be with him, but like not knowing how to say, well, actually, that's been me the whole time. It's just like people get themselves into very interesting emotional spots with the internet.
It's also, do you think there's a part of it where people feel, as long as I'm not acting out physically, this is not the best? But like, I think people give themselves a lot more leniency when
agree.
it's just a text.
Yeah, it's not real life. It's like, it's just online, so it doesn't really affect anybody, which is obviously wrong. But so
I think I was catfished as a young boy.
Do tell.
What I remember is someone appeared in my life over text. That was this girl that we would just like, we had somehow met. I think she worked at like MTV, she said, and I worked for MTV. And so it was like, we had met at an event and we were like friendly and we would chat, and then she was just cool. And we would like chat. And then eventually like it got like slightly flirtatious, but nothing like crazy.
Sure.
And I would bring up like, she lived in New York, and I would be like, I'm going to be in the city. Like we should get a coffee or whatever. And somehow it like never worked out. And then we talked on the phone a couple times. And then I remember specifically once I was like, oh, I'm going to be in the city and like, I want to smoke some pot. Like, I don't know anyone like in the city or whatever. And she was like, oh, my friend can meet up with you at a drugstore somewhere. And like, I met up with her friend who was like a lovely looking person who did not look anything like the pictures that we had exchanged, which were just like profile photos, like nothing crazy. And I was like, oh, that had to be her. Like, I think. Right. I imagine. But like, seemed like someone who was much more insecure.
But there was no chemistry.
No.
Right.
And just like a really nice person. And I was like, oh, you're so-and-so's friend. She's like, yeah. And she's like, here. And I was like, okay, here's $20. Thanks. And like, we just chatted for a few minutes. And then I kind of like pushed to see her again. I was like, I'm in the city. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't hang out. And then that sort of ended it.
Wow. Your catfish was a drug dealer.
Yeah. That's kind.
You really lucked out.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But it was like a year.
You still have their info?
Why, you need it? It's legal now. It's like my catfish is like a Chinese food delivery guy. I'm so innocent, guys. What do you think of that? Probably, right? I was catfish.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I wonder how they got in touch with you initially. But you had been famous already, so
I think she worked. She worked like was a publicist or
got
like
your info somehow.
Had some kind of thing. But she was just more behind the scenes, like, I don't know, in a tertiary way.
Yeah.
Weird, right? It's just weird that I don't have like a strong memory of it.
No, I know how those memories kind of get jumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Nutrafol. Folks, look, I'm in my 30s. It is what it is. You're probably in your 30s too. You could even be older, 40s, 50s. We're going to see some shedding. We're going to see just a little bit of skin on the top of our head. We all at some point or another, unless we're blessed, okay? Unless we're Bruce Soff or my father, we're all going to experience a little bit of hair loss. It is what it is. It's no big deal. It happens to everyone. It's only a big deal if you do nothing about it. You can't complain about your hair when you're not doing anything about it. Do something about it. Be proactive, okay? I was proactive. I was having some issues, top of my head, light thinning. It was absolutely thinning. And I started taking Nutrafol. 6 months later, not thinning. It's coming in. It's coming back in. Nutrafol is here to help us decrease our shedding. They've been helping me decrease my shedding for over a year. Hair is so much more than what you see on the surface. It's a reflection of what's happening inside. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within. Because Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. Trusted by over 1 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. With Nutrafol's science-backed, whole-body approach, nourish growth from within and receive your best hair yet. Folks, I mentioned this. Hair thinning, it's very common. It's a frustrating problem that us men deal with. But Nutrafol is here for us. Folks, start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code GOODGUYS10. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GOODGUYS10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GOODGUYS10. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Dentech. Dentech is the brand to empower everyone to take charge of their oral care health, going beyond the basics to provide a broad array of innovative products ranging from floss picks and tongue cleaners for your everyday care to more specialized products for pain, care, repair, and protection with dental guards for nighttime grinding. Dentech is the leader, #1 brand in dental guards for nighttime teeth grinding and offers a variety of dental guards to meet needs, ranging from customizable guards for a personalized and secure comfort fit to convenient, no fitting needed, ready-to-wear guards. Healthy gums are just as important as healthy teeth for a comprehensive dental hygiene routine. And the new and first of its kind Gum Health Advanced Cleaning Kit is exclusively designed to deep clean plaque from the gum line and massage for stronger, healthier feeling gums in just 10 days. The kit includes exclusively formulated cleansing gel, an applicator with 30 disposable micro bristle precision applicator tips, and a double-sided cleaning tool with a plaque scaler and a gum massaging tip. The Oral Brush Tongue Cleaner freshens breath with its unique dual action. Its 103 ultra-soft, micro-pointed bristles reach deep into the uneven crevices of your tongue to loosen and lift bacteria while the scraper collects and removes it. How cool is that? So, folks, head to Dentech.com to find your local retailer and shop all of Dentech's products. That's Dentech, DENTEK.com, sold at Target, Walgreens, Amazon, and Walmart.
I have one speak pipe that I thought could be fun, and then you want to get one of your nuts?
Yeah, I'll remember it though.
Okay.
Because it's about bikes. Okay. I'll remember it.
Okay, this one is going to be, I think I had a good one. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, if you want advice from us, you want to ask us questions, go to speakpipe.com/goodguys. Keep it brief. Brevity is key. This one's from Cha Girl. Okay, I just have to refresh this. That was
very brief.
Cha Girl.
Hey, good guys. Major moron here. And
It's our fandom moron.
I just need to share this experience I had. This isn't like a what are you nuts, but like it's teetering. So I dated this guy for 3 years, and early on in the relationship, I went through his phone, not good, whatever, that's not what I'm calling it about. But I find my way in his TikTok likes. When I tell you, it was like straight up thousands of videos of only ass, no breaks. It was shocking. It was so insane. And then I'm like, okay, wow, I saw that.
He likes
Obviously,
butts.
got to go in for more. What else did I find in his YouTube? Amazon butt scrunch legging try-on haul. Like, I mean, I will never forget that search for the rest of my life. He was 23 at the time. I don't know why saying his age made this feel mean, but yeah, he did cheat on me a lot, and it was a terrible relationship. But would just love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like, those searches, is that good on him for being creative, or is that just like fucking crazy? Like, I don't know, but yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, well, I think
Oh my
I think the
God.
timing of this is important because didn't Google buy YouTube?
Oh yeah,
Right.
Years ago, yeah.
Right. So he may have been searching to buy those leggings as a gift, and then
Very good.
Yeah.
because he probably saw an ad for him, because God knows we've all seen the ads, and he's like, "Oh, should I get a pair of those for my girlfriend?"
Sure.
But he also sounds like he probably was looking at a video. But
I like the hypothetical, though.
yeah,
It's possible that he was just looking to buy. You never
Yeah.
know.
because you don't want to buy them from the ads
No.
because you always get scammed. Talk about scamming.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I made that mistake once on TikTok from the TikTok shop. What a
Yes.
dumpster fire that
Me
sort
too.
of business is.
Me too.
Just
I once-
garbage.
Have you ever bought one of those cameos from the African village? Have you seen those?
I haven't, but
I bought
Did-
one.
you did?
I wanted to wish my wife a happy birthday.
That's
I thought
funny.
it'd be hilarious.
Right.
So I paid them $49. Never came.
oh,
It never
took-
came.
No, Josh, it
Good.
never came.
You
It
don't
never
deserve
came.
that money.
wow.
I guess not.
Exploiting these poor people.
What do you mean exploiting? This is a business. It's great. All they have to say is we wish
Wait,
you.
so you're telling me you think that whole thing is a scam, or some
yes.
people get them?
No, I think 100% of it is a scam.
Wow.
I do.
Respect. I
Well,
like
I've
it.
thought
do.
I've thought about ordering one of those too, because they are kind of funny looking.
They are. They're great.
Ugh.
They're great. You're like, I want a village in Rwanda to wish my wife a
Yeah.
happy birthday. Why not? She'd love it.
Oh,
Yeah, never
God.
came. All right, well, and the TikTok stuff, that was pretty weird. The butt
I will
stuff,
say though,
but
TikTok is my sort of safe space, because like I don't. I mean,
Yes.
I'm on there and I use it, but like, I use it sometimes to like more like
Provocative.
yeah.
But I mean, if you need to have a fake account if you're just going to be, even if you're a civilian, not a public person.
Right, I guess that's true.
And you're just using it to be turned on by those kind of accounts, which there are many. Like, because there are a couple people which I know they'll be hurt to find out that I unfollowed them. And when they bring it up, I will say, it's because you liked some wild conspiracy
Can
bullshit.
you see my likes?
I think they've just removed it, actually.
okay.
But up until a certain point, like, they liked some
Right.
wild, violent conspiracy theory bullshit. And I'm like, out.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll tell
Interesting.
that. I'll be like, I can see that. And you have like millions of followers. You're
Right.
crazy to be like all that hate on your private account, will
Right.
ya?
I didn't know that you could see that. That's crazy. I just assumed the algorithm it's very gentle, right? So if he stops liking pictures of butts, he'll never see him again. So he was probably just trying to protect his algorithm. That's why he was liking so many butts.
Askerithm, you know what I'm saying? No,
Stupid. So stupid.
that's gonna be my rap name.
Askerithm. Oh my God.
Should we get to What Are You Nuts?
Yes.
All right. So our What Are You Nuts moment of the week are gripes with people, places, and things, both big and small, whatever's sticking in your craw, anything that makes you say, what are you nuts? Take your time. Ben and I will go first.
Okay,
Have time
yeah.
to think. Go for it, Ben.
Your terrible e-bike story, thank God you're okay, made me think that my number one What Are You Nuts living in New York is the city bike and the accessibility to said city bike.
Yeah.
I understand as somebody who uses it to get to work, right? You probably
Sure.
own your bike, you own your helmet. We should have bike lanes so that you can use it as a mode of transportation. But tourists coming here, downloading City Bike,
Yeah.
paying $3 and then riding without a helmet and getting hit by a car because they don't know how to ride. And some of these are electric. Like you're giving motorcycles
Yeah.
to like this person from the Netherlands that's never ridden a bike before, and
Well,
they're
wait
now
a
in
second.
Manhattan.
Then actually, the Netherlands has more cyclists
I
than
take back the
drivers.
Netherlands.
So yeah, that's a bad
Okay.
example.
Okay, throw in a different random. I just picked a random place.
In fact, since I happen to know about this, let me
Okay.
share some knowledge.
Tell me.
In the Netherlands, specifically Amsterdam, which is the highest density cyclist city in the world, they don't wear helmets. And the reason they don't is because there is such a culture of cycling there that the thought that you need to wear a helmet to be protected goes against the cultural agreement that cyclists need to be taken seriously and cars have to look out for it reinforces the importance of everybody else being aware of and watching out for cyclists, which is wild. And they have had very, very few accidents.
What are the odds that I picked the Netherlands? You could have picked anywhere. I literally I picked that out of nowhere. These Australians, these Russians, anybody.
Yeah, that's
just
better. Yeah.
Blanket tourist coming here who can't ride a bike, having their first experience, no helmet, doing it in New York City is a what are you nuts. That's my what are you nuts.
My what are you nuts is I was recently doing this gig in Utah for a couple of days, and I walk out of the airport and they're nice enough to send me a driver, and it was so lovely. There's there's a poster board sized sign that says Josh Peck, and around the driver are about 12 kids. Ranging age from like 14 to like 21. They're like, we saw the sign.
Yeah.
I'm like, so did the astronauts. I was like, what are you nuts? I looked at the guy. I said, that sign is too big. Like, I didn't even say hello. I was like, it's too big. It's too big. I'm so embarrassed. Like, please. And he's like, I don't know what to do with it now. Like, what am I going to throw it away? I'm like, yeah, throw it away. I was like, never again do that. I was like, please, what are you nuts?
That is absolutely your worst nightmare. I'm so sorry that happened.
I was so uncomfortable. He was such a nice guy. He's like, I don't know. They gave me this sign. I'm like, I get it, but like, it looks like you're at a pep rally, my G. Let's get rid of that.
I feel like I have so many things on a day-to-day basis. Oh, I'll do this one. I'm very sensitive to lighting. If I walk into your house and you have a light bulb that is like fluorescent, if you have like a bright white, cold, like office style light bulb in your bedside table lamp, what are you, nuts? Do you know that, like, how unsexy and just it just makes me, I immediately hate you. If you're not sensitive to the fact that you have a choice in the temperature of your light bulb, you don't exist.
I love it.
So good.
This is excellent, and it just shows right into your brain.
Yeah.
What you see. It's that's a great what are you nuts.
Yeah. Because like it's your life. This is your bedroom. This is where you're spending time in your home, and you want this cold, harsh lighting.
No, don't choose such a harsh bulb.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't know. You should educate them. They can go to Home Depot and they can see the different types of bulbs.
If you don't have the awareness to recognize the difference of like, oh, I'm in this restaurant, the lighting is so soft and warm. And then you go home and you turn your lights on, you're like, this is fine. And it's terrible garbage lighting.
What are you nuts?
Yeah. What are you?
That's
nuts?
cool. Because all I'm thinking is, oh, good, I'm in your room.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just like, oh, good, I'm in someone's
leaving.
room.
I'm immediately leaving.
Yeah. What are you nuts?
Yeah.
Nev, what else? Anything to plug? Anything going on? Anything our listeners should know about?
Oh, well, funny enough, you mentioned cycling because I'm actually just started training for a triathlon. So I'm going to soon be one of those guys in the cycling gear.
Oh, okay.
I need a bike. So if anyone watching wants to sponsor me for my first half Ironman, I need a bike.
Do you drink, Nev? Alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, Olivia, send Nev home with some Spritz Society. Maybe we'll sponsor. I own an alcohol company. If you're looking for that.
Great. I
maybe
love a spritz.
Perhaps we would.
Oh,
Great.
I see it now on the table there. Is it like an Aperol spritz, basically?
Yeah, they're wine-based sparkling cocktails. We have a variety of flavors.
That. I'm
Hopefully,
actually an investor in a canned wine company already.
Which one?
Graham and Fisk. It used to be called Man Can. I think it might still be called Man Can.
Cool.
They're out of Cleveland.
I'll send you some. You don't have to get the ones here, but we'll sponsor your cycle.
So
Love
I'm
it.
doing that. And actually, I'm doing that with my friend who's blind. Speaking of people, the only
Wow.
people who would be acceptable to have bad lighting. He and I recently went to his house and half the light bulbs don't work or they like flicker. And he's like, I don't care.
This is so literal.
That's funny.
But we met because I guided him in the New York City Marathon, and then we became friends, and I've guided him in the Boston Marathon and New York City Marathon again. And he has done triathlons, which is wild. And I was like, I want to do that with you. So we're going to do a half Ironman this fall.
Wow.
Tethered.
So cool.
Yeah, which is crazy. So we swim like with a tether between our legs, and then we get on a tandem bicycle, and he rides behind me, and then we run.
Wow.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah.
Are you filming that?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
I'm
that's
gonna
a
be.
show.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah, okay.
making a doc about it.
So cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Wow.
Awesome.
So that's
Amazing.
where I'm really into working with disabled athletes now in running and now I guess other sports.
Love it. It's awesome.
Me too. Wow.
Sponsor this man. He's a good person.
We will. All right. Well, look out for Nev and what
Mongoose.
he's doing with the
Come to the Jones
triathlon.
Beach half Ironman in September if you want to cheer me on.
Yeah.
Love it.
wow.
Yeah.
Who else makes sick? A BMX. Get him a BMX sponsorship.
Yeah.
I think we already have the tandem bike. Oh, but I need a bike to train on, right?
Yeah. Mongoose.
Mongoose.
Easy. Love it. And folks, this episode, 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you, nuts? Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Share our clips, Instagram and TikTok. Mondays and Thursdays, folks. The great Nev Schulman. We'll see you next time.
Shabbat shalom.